Wee, hit this button. Wee, hit this button. Wee, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Crypto Let's Talk. This is Crypto
Hey,
Chris. How you
how's it going, everybody?
doing? Hey, buddy. How
This
you
is
doing?
Ocean Joe.
Ocean Joe,
Good, buddy. How you
formerly
doing?
Crypto Chris,
Ocean
Crypto
Joe.
Joe.
Good. Well, I'm still Crypto Joe, also. Just kind of,
Crypto Joe. He's
we'll move
just
it
trying
around.
to
Put my glasses
promote
on.
his
Go back to being
ocean
Crypto.
thing, okay, y'all? He just wants to promote his ocean thing. Don't pay him no mind.
No, pay me mine. You need to pay me mine. M-I-N-E. Pay me mine.
Mine,
That's what I'm talking about.
mine. Okay, speaking of
Yeah.
mine,
Money don't make itself, baby. Money don't make itself.
hey, hey, Miss Sharon, good to see you. Wonderful to see you this morning. Love that, love
Hey, Sharon,
that.
what's going on?
So,
Hey, Chris, why didn't it say that you're live here?
I don't know, buddy. Why doesn't it say that? Can you tell me? I don't know.
I wish there was a refresh on it.
I'm refreshing my screen
There
now.
needs to
I
be a
see me
refresh.
live. I see me live. Shh. I
See, mine's
know.
not
Oh
showing up
my
yet.
God, Sharon, I love that too. But guess what? He didn't create that one. I didn't know he didn't create that one when I posted it. Um, but
That's the crest of a certain island country.
uh-huh. Yeah, for real. Hey,
It's
Miss
cool, though.
Terry.
I wish I'd have made that. Crest of a
Mm-hmm.
certain island.
So I'm having
Hey,
a
hey,
good fresh hot cup of coffee today for everybody, and it's all good. So Sharon's been putting out fires. Oh Lord, girl, I know about putting out fires, honey. Ooh, shoo.
putting out
So
fires yesterday. Stupid neighbors. What? Oh, yeah, you said something about killing neighbors. What did they do?
don't kill the
Were the neighbors
neighbors.
fighting with each other or you?
No, they ain't fighting with me. I ain't. No, they ain't fighting with me. They know better.
So what's
Mm-mm.
everybody up to? Hey, Jerry, what's going on? Sharon, who else here? Who's supposed today? So what are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk
And did
about it being
anybody watch the?
Friday and fun stuff and all the
Yeah.
action this from this morning. I want to know if anybody sold
Oh, there
any
was action on.
XRP. Come on, y'all. Did anybody sell any XRP? Come on, tell me, tell me,
Oh,
tell
yeah,
me.
they're still up 50%, I think. But I mean, they
Yeah,
could have made a lot of money. It jumped up about almost 70%, didn't it? Increase
yes.
or 87?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was 87% increase. It was like 70
Mm-hmm.
cents.
It was a
So
little bit
that's
nuts for a minute.
damn from 20 something. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people made a lot of money.
That
What
was
they're
good
attributing that to,
excitement, though.
actually, though, just so everybody knows, is RapidX is the new processing system they're coming out with and everything.
Correct.
And they're saying they were testing it, and that wasn't just speculation. People just jumping in. They actually started running the thing, so they were sending money back and forth. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Using the system, so it made it look like there was all this activity, and there might not have been. But I mean, really, that doesn't seem like a bad thing to do every now and then to jump stuff up because
You know.
it's still 50% up. You know
Well,
what I
and
mean? So
here's
I
my
mean,
thing is
even
no
if you
matter
didn't get
whether
out in
they
time,
did it,
you're 20. I mean,
well, no matter
yeah,
whether they did it on purpose or they didn't do it on purpose, if you were holding or
right.
hodling, whichever word you want to talk, for XRP, and let's say you bought it at 19, 20, 25, 26 cents, and it jumped up to 80 some cents, and you had a sell order set for, 78, 80 cents, you made money. And that's just the short of it.
Yeah,
Whether they did it on purpose or not, those folks that had a sell order set, they were going to make their money. So, Joe and I talked quite a lot about, and I apologize for that, you guys. We talked quite a lot about setting, sell orders, knowing what you're willing to
yeah.
take for something, and how much of something that you want to sell. And so, I guess for me,
Mhm.
um, I, I feel like, I feel like, we've done our we did our job. Joe and I did our job by telling you guys that this is how you do it. Okay. And so that was a great example. If anyone, and here's the thing that I want to get across. Okay. We'll use XRP today because that's the one that went crazy and did nut stuff, right? But what I really want you guys to understand is it applies
Right.
to every coin. But look at this right here. Think about this. Okay, if you had XRP coin or any coin and you bought it 19, 20, 25 cents, and in your mind you go to a place in your mind that to you is a fantasy, right? Like it's almost like a wonderland, right? Because who wouldn't be ecstatic to sell at 75 cents if they bought at 25 cents, right? That's nuts,
Oh
right? So,
yeah, that's incredible.
I know.
I mean, there are
So,
billions and millions and billions of dollars just in a matter of a few hours.
uh huh,
It's crazy.
uh huh, yep. And so, you know, I feel like
Oh, cool! Congrats, Patty.
Patty had a breakthrough last night with a new guest. That's fantastic. I love that. I love that. Congratulations. Um,
Killer.
so, where I was headed with that, I'm sorry, my phone distracted me. I apologize. Shiny squirrel. So,
Oh,
where I was headed with that was, if you go to a place in your mind and you go to Wonderland and you're thinking, wow, 75 cents. I bought it 20. If I could get 75 cents, it would make a really big deal. And you've got maybe, I don't know, for easy math, we'll say 2,000 coins at that price. And you say, I'm just going to sell half. I'm going to sell 1,000 coins at 80 cents. At 80 cents. That would make me so happy, right? You want to start with something that, is going to tickle you, right? It's not going to make you a millionaire, but it's going to tickle you, right? So you set it, and now guess what? If you got up this morning and you live in Hawaii, very possibly if you had set that at 80 cents, you sold 1,000 coins this morning. See?
yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying.
true.
I mean, and
That's
people
true.
don't get that. You know,
This,
they talk about day trading, Joe, being, constant hands on and they're looking at the screen all day long. That is one form of day trading, absolutely. But I like the day trading that's a little more hands off, and just set it and forget it.
yeah. Well, and a lot of it, yeah, the sitting and looking at the screen, that's the research end of it,
Mm-hmm.
really. And once you buy something, set your parameters, your stop losses, and your sell orders, and there you go. You can kind of move on to the next thing, and not have to. But make sure you set those stop losses. I mean, that stop loss is more important than the sell order, I would say, just because you're going to lose all your money in something possibly. You know what I mean?
Right?
And if you only make so much or miss out on making a whole bunch or whatever, at least you don't lose what you got already. You know what I mean? So, just really get familiar with that. Um, it's in the training and stuff too, in the cryptogenics
Yep.
training. So you need to get familiar with that, familiarize yourself so you don't go to sleep one night with, 1,000 of something worth $100 and wake up
Mm-hmm.
with 1,000 of something worth $3. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that can happen. You know what I mean? Especially in these, like what we just saw here, with this dramatic rise. It's like a pump and dump is what it looked like, but I don't think that's actually what it was. You know what I mean? And it's still
Mm-mm.
holding at like 50% up. So
Right.
that 25 cents that it was this morning or whatever, 20 something, is now it's still 50 or 50 something
Mm-hmm.
when I looked last. So even though it dropped 30 cents back down, it was up 80 or it was up 60. So I
Yes.
mean, you're still doing okay. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But set your parameters so you don't lose your ass, basically. You know what I mean? You
Absolutely.
don't want to lose your investment. You can
And
lose your profits because you
and I
never
want to
had
kind of
those really. And
segue
you're
for
not
just a
borrowing money
second.
against this. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to segue off of something you said there for a second, Joe, just to kind of bring it back to the front of what you were talking about, because for most people, it probably went right over their head and they didn't hear it. And I want to reiterate it because I want them to hear it. This stuff is in our training. And I was talking to a couple of ladies yesterday, a couple different ladies, and they were saying that they actually sent people to, section 2, right? Module 2, chapter 6. And it's
Yeah.
good when you can send people to a specific location and say, watch this, then get back to me. We can talk about it. You have to be able to have intelligent conversations with people. Otherwise, you're talking intelligence to ignorance, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Okay, ignorance in my book, ignorance is not a
It's
bad
just not
thing.
knowing.
I'm ignorant in a lot of ways to a lot of things because I don't know the particulars about stuff. Okay, so ignorance is just a
Right.
preface to intelligence in my book. So if you're talking ignorance to intelligence, they're bouncing off one another, right? It's nothing sinking in, nothing's getting through. But if you, I don't know why all these phone calls are coming in today, but if you if you pre-prime the brain, the subconscious, and you say, go to module 2, chapter 6, watch it, get back with me, let's have a conversation, then you've primed the pump to actually have the conversation about, okay, this is what you do, this is how you do this is why you want to set that sale order, and those types of things. So, make sure that especially all of you folks that are in KGX, I want all of you guys to make sure that you're sending your people and priming your pumps, because at the end of the day, if you're having intelligent conversations, you're saving yourself time, you're saving that other person time, and they don't feel, for the lack of a better word, dumb. Okay? Because I mean, I know that I had many conversations, Joe. I've confided in you from the beginning, about conversations that I had that I felt really dumb because I didn't know what they were talking about. And so I didn't let on that I didn't know what they were talking about, right? Like I was secretly, I'd be on Zooms and I would have a piece of paper and a notebook in front of me, and I would have that notebook where that they couldn't tell I was writing notes, and I'd watch the screen, and I had notes that were all over the page because I wasn't looking down. I was just writing, right, things that I needed to
Yeah.
look up and research because I didn't
Right.
have a clue what they were talking about. And that's not a good feeling. And
Yeah.
now, Joe,
Yeah.
that I've met people like you and Don and Steven and Mike and Will and Sharon and Bethany and Patty and a lot of other people. I'm just, using those names because those names usually pop on here. But now that I've met you guys, those kind of people, I won't go through a conversation like that anymore. I will say, hey, you know more
Right.
than I know about this. I
What
don't
is?
know
What
what
do
you're
you mean?
talking
Yeah.
about. Can you explain this to me? Because I don't want to be that person that doesn't know what's going on. How can I intelligently ask a question if I have no clue what the conversation is about? So just a little snippet into my previous excerpts. Joe, you got some stuff you want to share about that a little bit? You do. I know you do.
Yeah, I really do. And yeah, and on that, it's guys, a dictionary is invaluable. You know what I'm saying? Look stuff up and see what it means, or Google it, whatever. You don't have to use a real dictionary. Use Google or whatever. If you don't understand what something is, let's say you don't know what a node is, look it up. You know what I mean? Okay, so what's a master node? Well, I know what a node is, so what's a master node? Okay, well, put these two words together, they probably mean something. We still operate off a Latin system, basically, where you have this and that, a beginning and an end, for things like that. So, quick segue into the master node thing, because I want to bring that up. Master nodes are the future of mining. They're proof of stake mining, as opposed to proof of work. That's something you want to look into. Everyone needs to, when you get off here, or do it right now, I don't care. You know what I mean? You need to look up what master nodes are, look into them. If you have any questions about that, get with me on that, because it's one of those things that could have great earning potential for you, and it's completely passive, extremely efficient, and it's the way of the future.
And you can
Um,
buy them.
that's about all I'm going to do on that one.
And you
Yeah,
can
and you can
buy
buy them.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
know,
it's not a big deal.
I actually, and here's a very good example. Thank you for bringing that up, Joe. That's a great example. You know, earlier today, Joe and I were talking, and we were talking nodes, and I know what nodes are, and I know the use of nodes, and I understood the concept of nodes. But then he was talking about master nodes, and he was telling me some stuff that he had been researching on, and giving me some information. And I said, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute. I don't understand that. Can you explain it to me?" And to me, there's no shame in not knowing, but there's shame in not asking. Okay,
No, not at
because
all.
when
Exactly.
someone when someone has the ability to make me smarter, and I don't ask for them to share with me so
Mhm.
that I can get smarter, then shame on me. I'm the one at fault, not the other
Right.
person. Okay, so that kind of segues back into what we were just talking about,
Mhm.
it's kind of a real world example. So I wanted to kind of
Yeah.
share that because I too am still learning. I too am still growing. I want to grow and learn every day,
Oh, we
y'all,
are.
till the
Well, and we're
last
dedicated.
breath, till the last breath. You
Well,
know.
and we're with
Go ahead,
our
Joe.
crypto space stuff we do. It's ever changing.
Mm-hmm.
Changes daily. It changes by the minute. So you're not gonna know it all. You know what I mean? Because something new just happened. Something new was just created. There's another idea that just got made a reality. You know what I mean? The difference between an idea and and a reality is somebody
Mm-hmm.
does it. Initiative is the difference. I'll tell you that right now. You have to have initiative in life if you want to be a leader. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't, that's okay, man. That's not the role for everybody.
Everybody
You know what I
doesn't
mean?
always become a leader.
But if you want to be on the forefront, if you want to be the tip of the spear, then initiative is what gets it there. Have an idea and then do it. Don't people get consumed with this? I can't do it. Oh, I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that, or oh, blah. And that's not. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Say I don't want to do it.
Right.
But people make excuses all the time, and because they just don't want to. You know what I mean? And if you
Correct.
just don't want to put the work in, that's fine. Don't.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That's not a big deal. But don't go around saying you can't, or they wouldn't let me, or something like that. No, just do it. If you want to. You don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a role. A leader's role is not always the one you want. I mean, you know what I mean? There's a lot there. You're the one. You're the first one out of the gate. You're running into the burning house. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, or the gunfire, or whatever you're saying. But pick people that you follow correctly. And I'll just be honest with you, gut feelings are a lot. You know what I mean? You can get a lot of really good information from someone and completely disagree with the way they are. Be like,
Yeah,
you are
absolutely.
full of shit, and just think they are. And just be like, God, I wish you would shut up because you just want to hear yourself talk. You can be like
Yep.
that. And there's things like that in the world. You know what I mean? And hell, people may
Yes.
think that about me. I don't know. But always, and this harkens into a lot of things because people see successful people and try to emulate them. Um, that's good. It's good to copy behaviors and successful practice, but you don't have to change you. You know what I mean? Now, I mean, if you're a jerk or something, yeah, you should probably change your personality. You need to look inside yourself. You know what I mean? But
Right.
if you just go around pissing people off all the time, it's probably not everybody else. It's probably you. You know what I mean?
Right.
If everybody in the room thinks you're an ass, it's good if you are the ass in the room. I mean, you know what I mean?
Correct.
But stay true to yourself. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And take lessons from people and go, okay, okay, okay. And like me, I just shut up sometimes. 'Cause I'm like, uh-huh, 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 get to the point. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I know I read that book. Okay, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. I heard that from somebody else. Okay. Anyways, okay, now that we're past the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, and the airplanes, what were you trying to tell me? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I am with things. I'm not going to change that
No.
because I don't want to change it. Now, can I shut the hell up about it? Yeah, I can. You know what I mean? I just be quiet. But
Mm-hmm.
remember to stay true to you. You know what I mean? What you need to believe in is you. Don't believe in that person in front of you. Well, I mean, you can, believe in them, but you don't put all your belief in someone else. You need to put it into yourself and go,
Yes.
okay, this. I'm going to borrow this trait from this person, this trait from this person. You know,
Yes.
but don't go changing who you are and how you do everything. I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like I said, unless maybe you're a serial killer or something. But
Well,
don't be a
and
sociopath either and just adapt to other people's. There's the other side of that. You know, okay, go ahead.
and I think too,
Chris?
we 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 sometimes fall into the trap. Okay, and I'm going to speak from personal experience here. Early on in my career in marketing, I would look at certain individuals and I would see their success and I would see the things that they did, the way they dressed, the way they spoke, the way they acted. Okay, and I thought, okay, that's what I have to do to be successful, right? And I lost myself trying to be someone else until I realized, and this is key, y'all, until I realized there's no one else out there like me. There's not another me out there. Thank God for that in a lot of ways. But, what I'm saying is that we're all individually built and we're all unique. And there is a reason for that. And so, what you absolutely don't want to do is lose yourself trying to be someone that you're not because you were never meant to be that person to begin with. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that um, it, it, it it doesn't mean that you can't take the good from that person. Okay. Like, for instance, Joe is really good at starting conversations. So I listen to him because I would like to be better
Yeah.
at starting conversations, right? So I listen to how he does that, and then I, make it my own. I don't do it his way because he's Joe and I'm Chris. So I do it my way. And so I think it's really important that we
Right.
all realize that we have so much to offer and so much to give as individuals. And, I lead from my heart. Okay. And I'm never not going to do that. I'm just not. I'm a blue. Intimacy is part of what drives me. So you can't get any more intimate than the heart. Okay. So I lead from the heart. Um, it's
Right.
very difficult at times because when you lead from your heart, you set yourself up for disappointment and heartache, but that's just part of the job. Okay. And oftentimes, I will want for others way
Yeah.
more than they want for themselves. And so I've learned over the years to give of myself and to give from my heart and to help others to the best of my ability. But then at a point, I have to draw the line in the sand and say, okay, I've given you what I can give you. Now it's your turn to show me what you can do with it. So, I know that kind of sounds like we went completely off track here, but if you really go back and listen to everything that we were talking about this morning, it all comes back into a nice, neat ball. And so, um, if I were
You too
going to
can be a
give
master
anyone,
node.
yes, yes, I am my own master node. So, if I was going to give anybody any advice at all,
There you go.
the advice would be yourself, but be your best self. And so, I write my goals down, and all of you all know that I don't like the word goals. I prefer the word plan. But I write it down, the things that I want to do. Some are daily, some are weekly, some are monthly, some are yearly. But one of my everyday things that I write down is be better today than I was yesterday. And so at the end of every day, I think back over my day and
Right.
I look back and I say, okay, was I a better Chris today than I was yesterday? God, I hope so. And then I start thinking about all the things that I did or did not do. Okay, because here's what you're going to find yourself doing. You're going to find yourself avoiding doing certain things. Now, when you catch yourself avoiding to do certain
Yeah.
things, write it down because that's probably something that's going to take you to the next level. It's probably a growth step for you that you're avoiding because it's uncomfortable, because it's something that you don't know how to do, or you don't like to do, or you don't want to do. Um, but it's always a growth step. Okay. Everything that I've ever avoided doing was a growth step. Typical example, I'll give you guys a real world example real quick. Because everybody loves stories, right? So I'll tell a story. So recently, everybody here knows that Joe and I have been looking for something to help our KGX teams grow their teams, and in a more prosperous way, right? So did a lot of research, came across a guy, selected this particular guy, vetted him out, selected him to be a mentor. One of the first things that he told me that I needed to do, or that he recommended, not that I needed to do, but that he recommended that I do, was go find some lead partners, right? So what is a lead partner? A lead partner is a person who wants to incorporate using leads in their business, but they don't want junk leads, they don't want trash leads, they don't want overused leads, they want quality. So I went straight out and and started talking to people about how they run their business and who they talk to and what their ideal customer looks like, you know, their ideal business partner looks like. And lo and behold, I found somebody to be a lead partner, right? It was just that simple. I didn't think I could do it, right? Like I was telling in my head was telling me, Chris, you can't do this. You don't know
Yeah.
anybody that uses leads, right? You've been out of the business too long. You
Yeah.
don't know who to talk to. But the first thing I did was go out and just start talking to people. And within the first 3 or 4 or 5 people that I spoke to, one of them was looking for a lead resource, and they became a lead partner of mine. And after I did that first one, it became easy. It's like, no big deal. Finding lead partners is a breeze. And it really is, because, everybody that's in business wants people to talk to. Real people, intelligent people, people that are looking for them. Okay, they don't want to make 100 calls a day, cold calling. They don't want to send out a bunch of emails to people that don't want to get them. They want to communicate with people that want to communicate with them. And so when you can put those two together, it's a win-win. What do you think, John?
Yep.
What do
No,
you
it's good.
think?
Yeah, I think you're right. And on that same topic right there, talking about the lead generation or the lead partners, trading partners group.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a swingers group,
Trading
guys.
partners.
It just sounds like one. See, I have a thing.
Hey, it's Friday.
We have a thing here called
We
trade
can swing
partners.
if we want
That's
to.
a card that we have. I guess so. Yeah, sure. Swing. I think I might get in trouble with that. I'd be afraid. I'm afraid. I was petrified. Oh, hey, Patty put up here real quick. Well, hold on. I'm gonna say this first. But we've got this thing here called trade partners, and it's a bartering system. So
Right.
basically it's a system without it's cryptocurrency without the cryptocurrency.
There you go.
So we have accounts, and so like different businesses are involved. They're your trade partners. And so somebody comes in the bar, they spend so much money, and they use their card. Then I have a credit that it's a barter system. You know what I mean? Is what that is. But
It gets you free pizza.
so anyways, but I don't know. Gloria brought that up a while ago. Yeah, and I get hey, and I can even get Golden Corral, baby, the Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
Yeah, but all kinds of stuff. You can get tires, mechanics. There's all kinds. It's a big old network thing. It's what it is,
Right.
a big network, but it didn't cost anything to join it, and you don't get anything for signing anybody else up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a network you don't get paid for. Sounds like most of
But you get benefits. But you get the fringe benefits. Hey, see, there's that
Yeah, you get
swinging
benefits. Yeah,
benefit.
Yeah. There you go. No, so what I was talking about though.
Drop it like it's hot.
The leads, the things. Moving the leads. You're going, well, how the hell am I going to do this? I don't know anybody that wants it. And you're like, but you probably do actually. And for me being completely green and like everybody else that's in this, you all know people and stuff that you worked with before and blah 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 and this that and the other. I know y'all. That's it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? If you're not on this thing, I don't know you, pretty much. I mean, I just don't. I don't know anybody that's in this business that I don't know that's in this business. Um,
Right.
so like my recruiting is completely a little bit different than a lot of people's because I'm recruiting absolutely green people and having to go through the whole system. So
Hmm.
trying to explain that they need leads, it's not really worth explaining. It's almost better for me to say, hey, we're going to get you in here, and then it's going to cost this to get this because this will get you going. This is what you need. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, it's a
Put a
lot easier than
package
going, you're
together.
going to need this, you're going to need that. Go ask your aunts, uncles, and cousins. Ask them too. But I'm also going to give you 1,000 people out real quick. Or not real quick. 1,000 people takes a long time to go through. You know what I mean? It really does.
Hmm.
And we can go there. Like my whole idea is I want to build successful people. You know what I mean? Right off the bat. You know what I mean? I want to have everything laid out in front of them. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do these steps. This should work. If this doesn't work, we're going to go to the top and bitch about it because we were told it was going to work that way. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? If you're doing everything right and it's just not working, and you're doing what everything somebody's telling you and it's not working, there's a good chance it's not you on that one.
Hmm.
That could be like, hey, your program might be broke. Maybe you need to
Right.
revamp this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what, I'm not talking about anything in particular. You know what I mean? I'm talking about just everything in general. You know what I mean?
Hey,
If you work
Renee.
at McDonald's and they're like, well, we need to toast the buns way before we make the hamburgers, but now people are bitching because the buns are cold. Well, what do you mean then? Apparently the system's broke. We need to fix that. You know what I mean? But I'm sure you'd have to call
Correct.
corporate to get permission. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
you know. But Patty also says about the master thing. Patty, is that what's in the training? Explaining what a master node is. I bet it is. Um,
I
that
missed it. I'm sorry.
yeah, that's correct. That's one part of it, but there's a whole other part to it. There's a whole other part to the master node. That's the purpose of a master node, other than just storing the blockchain. Um, I'll explain all that
Correct.
stuff in a private talk with people. I don't want to throw all that out there right now. It's going to
Also,
confuse people if I
additionally,
do. It's in
to
depth. I have to explain it.
to
Okay,
kind of
sorry.
back that up, some of the stuff in some of the things in the training modules, just so everybody's really clear, crystal clear. Um, you know, in the
Hey,
beginning, you
Renee.
don't want to overwhelm people. So what
Google
you
it.
want to
Okay.
do is give them a little bit, and then allow them to come forth later with a little bit more. And I think that's what that was designed to do. Just so you guys realize, you know, it's not. Excuse me. It's not designed.
Yeah, that is what
Um,
it's for. Because there'll be a
mhm. Yeah, information overload is easy to do. Um, and what we aimed to do at Cryptogenics was to allow people to absorb information, where they're at, to start where they're at and then move forward. So just so everybody understands that, I mean, I didn't want to discount what was being said, because what is in our training is accurate, but it's not as in depth as one might want to go. You know.
that came from Google. She got that from Google, but that didn't even come out of the
Okay.
training. That came out of Google. And I don't even
I
know if it
didn't.
does it. I don't remember
I
seeing it
don't
actually.
remember
I'll be
anything
honest
being
with you, it's
covered.
way deeper than what they would have taught at that point.
Yeah, I don't remember anything being mentioned or
Yeah,
anything
I
being
mean, because it goes into
covered
the
about
whole purpose
master
of the
nodes.
master node, other than storage space, is a whole new way of operating cryptocurrency.
Hmm.
So it's a whole new program than Bitcoin. It's different.
Right.
It's completely different than Bitcoin, pretty
And I
much.
would say
I
that
mean,
that's
so it
probably in
for the
advanced
most part,
education. You
there's a
know,
lot to explain, guys.
um,
I'm sorry.
there's going to be
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah,
There's going to be more, just so everybody
exactly.
understands.
I just
There's a lot more training coming. There's a lot more stuff coming from KGX. I
yeah,
can't talk about it. I can tell you there are things coming. I can let you know that they're working on things. I apologize that I can't give you specifics. But at at the rate that they're going, I would say that you're going to all be getting some stuff, some news soon, and the news is going to make everybody very happy. Okay, I'm just going to say that part. Um, you guys already know about ATMs, and that is so close, it's not even funny. Like if you have skin on your teeth, that's how close we are to the ATMs. Okay, and so, and there are other things. There's a lot of other things coming that's going to make everybody's life a lot easier. And it's also going to provide ways to bring up the conversation in a more normal, generic setting. Okay, so you're not going to be going out looking for people to have the conversation with. The conversation is just going to begin. Okay, so just letting everybody know that. Um, I am excited about a lot of stuff. I'm excited about being an entrepreneur personally. Every time I turn around, I'm meeting new people. I'm hearing new things. As I've stated before, there's 5 to 20 things come across my desk in email every single day, or my phone. My phone is getting really active lately, and so what I will say about that, what I will expound on about that is that you can't you can when I was new in this business, and Joe, I'm talking now like you and I are talking, okay, more than talking to the camera. When I was new in this business, I really I would look at one thing, right? Like I would become involved in that one thing, right? And I couldn't be distracted. I didn't want to hear anything. I didn't want to see anything. I didn't want to know anything about any other business. And if if I could guide you in any way about that particular thing, I would say don't do that to yourself. Don't put yourself in that box. Now I'm not saying, look at everything with the intention of doing it, okay?
Yeah.
But
Right.
how can you intelligently talk about other programs or other things that are out there when maybe you're talking to a prospect? Let's say I'm talking to Joe and I'm telling Joe about crypto, and he all of a sudden pops up with golden crypto shares. And I don't know anything about golden crypto shares because I put myself in this box and I've got blinders on, and all I'm looking at is KGX, 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 right? So I did myself a disjustice because now I can't talk to Joe intelligently about that program. And so it's not necessarily the part about being able to point out what's bad about the program, because really, if Joe is in that program and Joe's telling me about it and he's excited, he's on hopium, I don't want to look like an ass and say, Joe, this is wrong with your program, and this is wrong with your program, and this is wrong with your program. You
Yeah.
don't want to do that, but you want to mentally know what's wrong with his program, right? And then
Right.
you want to bring to the front what's right about your program that's wrong with his, but not say, hey, this is right about my program. You're going to say something to the effect of, well, Joe, since I've been with KGX, what I've found out is that a lot of companies have disappeared. And, I'm really very pleased that I'm with a company that is compliant and legal, right? So I just let him know without saying his company isn't compliant and legal, right? But I let
Right.
him know that the company I'm with is compliant and legal. Now, if Joe's the kind of caliber person that I want to do business with, that I want on my team, the words compliant and legal are going to be big bell ringers for him, right? Ding, 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 ding. Because he's not going to want to lose his family's hard earned money, right? He's going to want to make
And you're
sure
gonna have
that
people
whatever
tell
he's
you
investing, right,
it's
whatever he's investing in is going to be there, right? So,
right.
or I might say something like, it's a great comfort to me that the company that I'm doing business with currently has some of the SEC attorneys on the board of advisors. You know, that is another ding 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 moment, right? Ding 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 ding. And it's not offensive. It's not saying, Joe, your company's bad. No, it's not saying that. But it is bringing out the positives. It is bringing out the shiny parts. Oftentimes people forget to talk about the things in our business that are going to promote our business in a good way, in a positive
Right.
way, because we're too busy talking about the crypto part of it. Okay, the crypto part is just one piece, y'all. It's just one piece.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, buddy.
You're welcome.
You're my
No.
buddy.
Hey, check this out, everybody. Um, yeah, KGX is back up and running. The back office is open. Sharon.
Yes.
Sorry, I was looking through there trying to get some questions, answer some questions. Yeah, and keep this in mind too. A lot of times, we're kind of like borderless on this little internet thing out here that we're talking to right now. And so there's a lot of times you're getting stuff from people in other countries where, you know, being in a mining pool might not be illegal there, or it's not illegal there. So a lot of times people don't know they're breaking the law because they're not breaking their laws. We just have all these laws. We have more laws on this stuff than anybody else does right now. And that's just kind of the way it is. You know what I mean? Everybody else has either said, okay, just go with it or don't go with it. There's not a lot of, everybody's waiting on somebody else to make a decision. You know what I mean? And most of the world's going to follow us except for the little holes. Russia's not going to. There's no need for them to. Russia and China won't. But, South Korea is going to. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And South Korea is the biggest market there is. They're the numero uno. You know what I mean? Yeah, number one. But, like Japan had that big hack. You know what I mean? Okay. You know what I mean? That stuff's going to happen.
Right.
Which brings me to something else I was thinking about earlier, but I'm not going to mention that here. Sorry. But another idea on that. But ask me about that later, Chris. Idea about
I'll ask you about that later.
Okay.
Idea about the hack.
Yeah, idea about the hack. So I guess what you have to kind of look at is a lot of times we think people are trying to dupe us and get us into something. But a lot of times they don't know it's illegal here, or they're not from here, and where they're from, it's not illegal. You know what I mean? Or, people call me pump and dumps. They're not illegal, guys. You know what I mean? Now, does it seem kind of ethically down? Yeah, I wouldn't sign up for it and help choose what to pump. You know what I'm saying? But if someone told me it was going to happen and I saw it rising and they told me where it was going to stop and when they were going to sell, I'd go ahead and set that sell order. You know what I mean? Now, that's kind of like you're not robbing the store, you're driving the car. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, there's a tap dance right there between, you're strictly doing it for the money. You know what I mean?
Really what it's about, Joe, is it's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen,
it's going to happen
whether you do it or you don't.
Well, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So if someone tells you, I'm trying to keep it ethically and morally on the right side, right? If someone tells
That's
you,
what I'm saying.
it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily illegal, and it's not necessarily wrong. What I'm trying to get at here is that, they're going to do it, whether we participate or not. So if we find out, or we have some inclination that there's about to be one on something or whatever, and we're holding that particular coin, it only makes sense, as a safety for yourself, because you got to think about your number one business. Your number one business is family first, okay? And thinking number one business first, if Joe calls me and says, "Hey, crypto coin is going to do a pump and dump in the future, and I believe that it's going to go as high as," and maybe he says $1.50, right? And I say, "Thanks, Joe. I really appreciate that. Knowledge is power." It doesn't necessarily mean that I bought that coin to pump and dump it, but now that I know that it's going to shoot up, and I bought it at I don't know, 2 cents, then I'm going to set my sell order for something like a $1.25, because he thinks it's going to go to $1.50. Well, why wouldn't I sell my sell order just to protect myself? Now, if it goes up and it hits it, great, I make money. If it doesn't go up, then it doesn't sell. That's what most people don't get. You're not selling your coins if it doesn't hit your money mark, okay?
Yeah, that's the thing, guys. You got to remember, you're not selling back to an exchange. You're selling back to a buyer. You're selling to another.
Hmm.
It's just being
Yes.
brokered by the exchange. All the exchange is a broker. It's a brokerage. That's
That's
it.
why there's a fee, usually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brokerage. That's all there is to it. Um,
Hmm.
it's yeah, they're it's kind of like I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
It's
Crap.
okay. It happens.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, it is. It's really risky. You know. Now they're not illegal. They're not illegal right now. As regulation comes, it will be because it'll be classed with insider trading and
Right.
market manipulation. You're not allowed to do that shit. You know what I mean? You're really just not. That's how we can protect our stock market. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's why Martha Stewart went to prison. Martha Stewart,
Yeah.
guys, went to prison because she sold stock that she knew was getting ready to tank.
And
You
people
know what I
liked
mean?
her,
And so,
but she still went to prison,
yeah, they're
okay?
kind of like, I know, now she made friends with Snoop Dogg.
You know, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
but
hey,
seriously, I mean, yeah, it's, yeah. And
you know,
so I guess what I'm trying to say also is if you want to take advantage of those situations, you better now while you can, because you're not going to be able to as soon as we get more regulation in, which we kind of need. That everybody says it can
right.
regulate itself, but it kind of can't. I mean,
No.
yeah, it can't because you're going to get too many funds that you'll get enough people in there, enough big corporations in here as it's being adopted that they'll get together and they'll control it. They'll control the market.
Right.
I mean, it's just that simple. All you got to have is a few $1 trillion. You know what I mean? But
Well,
you
that
put
was
enough of these
proven
companies
today,
together, and they,
Joe.
well, yeah, exactly,
That was proven
exactly.
today.
You know, yeah, completely proven. So
And
I
if anybody
personally think
can't
that,
see that,
yeah,
if anybody can't
I
see
kind of
that,
think
they're
Bitcoin.
blind.
I, I'm gonna say this again. I don't think Bitcoin should be on the market like it is. It controls everything. It has too much of a piece of it, and the world lives and dies by it. Um,
Hmm.
I think it needs to be separate, looked at separately. It needs to be separated as a store of value, not a
Hmm.
use coin. You know, and then have your other use coins or utility coins, you want to call them. You know, your funding tokens, which are like your ICO tokens, things like that, and let it be your store of value. Let it be your gold
Right.
bar. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it rises and falls, and everything rises and falls with the dollar. But the thing is, you put all this stuff on the same page right there, and our markets just, you don't have to watch. You only need one line on that damn board. You know what I mean? When you're
Hmm.
looking at your charts, you just need to know what Bitcoin's doing. I can tell you what the whole market's doing pretty much because it
Hmm.
just all
Hmm.
follows that. You know, it's got over 50% of the market share, which is it's monopolized the market. You know,
Correct.
you could bring antitrust existence almost. You know, in a court of law, if once it's recognized as something, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? It'll have to break up. You know, it'll have to fork again or something like that. They could force that.
Right.
Now, that's getting a lot of legal stuff, but sorry, guys, I didn't mean to do that. That's just what my brain does. But I really don't think Bitcoin should be on there with everything else. It has too much control. You know, it doesn't allow everything else to kind of stand on its own 2 feet, you know? And everything else out
Hmm.
there basically a superior product to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the most inferior product on the blockchain. I mean, it truly is. It's slow, it's cumbersome, it's difficult, it's an energy suck. You know what I mean? And it really is. I mean, it's 10 years old. You know what I mean? I've got a 10-year-old laptop that's got Windows 7 on it or 8 or no, it has Vista on it that I can't even hardly get the damn thing to turn on and get online because
Right.
everything's so much further advanced. You know what I mean? It won't hardly run Facebook right now. Um,
Correct.
and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm saying it needs to be in its own class because it is something different. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I've got antique tags in my pickup truck because it's over 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's in a different class. You know, you can't compare that to a brand new truck. They're two completely different things. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just are similar in name only. You know, name and
And I
function
think the
only,
biggest
but
thing,
everything operates.
and I
Oh,
think
sorry.
the biggest thing
But
is this. You know, none of us have a crystal ball. None of us can predict the future. Now, we can we can have our ideas about the future. We can have our thoughts about what may or may not happen in the future. We cannot predict accurately what's going to happen in the future. And so I don't believe that the creators of Bitcoin and blockchain anticipated that there would be so much tech change. Hear what I say, tech
Right.
change. Because there's been a lot of tech
Right.
change since it was created. And
Oh,
so there was no malice intended. But what has happened, and I agree with Joe. I mean, a lot of people are going to hate us for saying this, and they're probably going to send us some ugly mail. And we may even get a few phone calls that says,
I
hey,
doubt
don't say that stuff again. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is our show, and we can say what we want to say, and we do on a daily
it. We're
basis.
not talking
And
bad
so
about it.
no, we assert our ability to be able to have free speech, and so we're doing that. And
Well,
I agree completely with Joe. I did not. If you'd asked me or had this conversation with me 15 months ago or 18 months ago, I would not have had the same answer. Okay, because I too have grown with the product. However,
right.
Bitcoin has gotten to a point to where it is a gold. And if you listen to people, and I'm not talking about Joe and I'm talking about big people that have been in this from day one. Okay, if you listen to them, they too refer to Bitcoin as more of a gold standard. Now, when you put something in a
Right.
classification with a gold standard, you have assigned it a value that is not really amicable for daily usage. Okay, you don't see people walking around
Right.
today handing over somebody a gold bar when they buy a car. Could they? Theoretically,
Or
hypothetically,
even
could
an
they?
ounce full.
Well,
You don't give an
you
ounce full
know,
of bars either. You know,
if
you don't
if
do
the
that.
car
They
dealership,
used to.
owner possibly wanted a gold bar, well, you could probably, persuade your salesman to talk to the owner and say, hey, I'm going to give him this gold bar for this car, and I'm going to leave here with the car, and you're going to give me the title. Okay, the same thing with Bitcoin now. Okay, when it came out, you saw Subway, you saw a lot of businesses embracing Bitcoin. Okay, and basically what we're trying to establish here, or the point that we're trying to drive, is that it's outgrown its usefulness on a daily basis. Gold used to be useful on a
Right.
daily basis. You could give a nugget, for your groceries at the hardware store in the curve out by the big oak tree, right? But then uh, we started printing notes, right? Like we started having federal notes that were backed by gold. Okay, so now people were taking their gold, they were hoarding it up, and they had X amount of paper notes for X amount of gold, right? Okay, well, guess what? We're kind of repeating history here, just in a different way. And
Right.
you can see it happening if you really take a deep breath and a sip of coffee and look at it. You can see it happening, and we are going to have a utilitarian coin. We're going to have something, and at this point I don't know what it's going to be. I honestly don't. Um, with the Ethereum bomb, you've got that issue, right? And then with Litecoin, it has its issues, right? And so there are coins out there that are more user friendly, that represent a smaller amount of Satoshi, okay, and would be easier for us to
What's up with
use.
Litecoin?
Oh, it's just got its issues.
What's wrong with
People
Litecoin?
people don't want to embrace
You can buy
the
it. Oh,
they don't want to embrace the use of it is its biggest issue right now. Um, I don't
it's
know
good
of
because it's Bitcoin.
anything. Right. I don't know of anything that would make it be a bad investment for anyone. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, at this point,
Right.
we don't know what coin is going to be the golden coin. What's going to become the new 20, we don't know. There's a coin out there right now. I guarantee
Right.
you there is a coin in circulation right now that will become the next 20. Okay? There's probably one that will become the next 150 and 5 and 1 too.
And I hate to tell
I
you
don't know.
guys, but it really looks like it's one none of us really like all that much because they're the only ones going out there getting in touch with companies and hooking up with them. Like you can't go a day without hearing this one certain company making a deal with somebody else, with somebody else, with somebody else. And I mean, they're hustling. That's what they're doing. And I know a lot of us don't really like it. You know what I mean? But at a certain point, there's so many out there that don't know there's any difference. They don't care if there's a difference. You know what I mean?
Right. The uneducated
I'm not
masses
going to
have
mention it.
no idea.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Y'all know what we're talking about here.
the uneducated masses have no idea what's decentralized and what's centralized and what a white paper looks like. And most people never even read white papers. I'm just going to be honest. A whole lot of people,
That's supposed to
a
be doing
whole
real
lot of
good. So
people, a whole lot of people will say that a white paper is useless because anyone can write an attractive white paper. That's true too. You know, that's one way to look at it. But at the end of the day, if you've got a white paper and and basically a white paper is nothing more than a plan, okay? But if you've put it in writing, you kind of almost morally and ethically are held to that standard.
yeah,
So I disagree to a certain point that anyone can write a white paper, because if I put it in writing, you know, I've more or less said I'm going to do this or I'm going to do the best I can do, right? So, so you know,
yeah.
there's that issue. There's that issue for me. And maybe it's just the way I was raised. You know, I was raised. You never put anything in writing that you don't intend to do. When you sign your name to something, that is your bond. It's your word. It's kind of like my grandpa taught me with the
Exactly.
handshake. You never shake on anything you don't intend to do. So
That's
for me, I think it's a raising thing. I do see what they're meaning when they say anybody can write a white paper that looks good. I do see that. So sorry, I didn't mean to go on that rant. I apologize to all the little pygmies in New Guinea.
Are we still talking about
Oh,
amicable? Like when you have a
n-
yeah, kind of. I guess you're actually right. But like if you have an amicable dissolution of a marriage, that means you both agree without prejudice, is what it
yeah,
is. You know, it's amicable. Yeah, that's what I was
it's
just saying. You
amicable.
agree. But yeah, it's yeah. Sorry.
Amicable.
But
On an easy way to think about amicable,
yeah,
it's everybody agrees to play by the terms. That's it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go my way, you go
Hey,
your way,
Joe,
or we're gonna work.
is
We're
there
amicable.
anything new on our blog?
Oh, hey, I gotta say one more thing.
Okay, one more
No,
thing.
I didn't see anything on the
Okay.
blog.
All
No.
right.
Oh, one more thing.
I
Oh,
hadn't
one more
checked
thing.
since this
One more
morning.
thing. I haven't used this in a while. I didn't realize we're long. Crap. Okay.
It's okay.
But we oh, like the white paper thing. My white paper on the ICO, it's simple. You know what I mean? It's not a whole bunch of 10-cent words. Sorry, the things went off. And all that. It says, hey, this is what I plan to do. This is how I plan to do it. This is it. You like it? Cool. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I run through things. I mean, I can get a dictionary or have somebody write it. You know what I mean? My bartender was the editor of a paper for years. You know what I mean? He can write, but I don't.
He can write.
It's my deal. You know what I mean? This is what I want to do. So I'm going to tell you this is what I want to do. And I like the comfort level of someone just telling the truth. I like the comfort level of me just telling somebody the truth, especially if I'm asking for money.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the whole purpose. And it's not just to go. It's not to go in my pocket. It's to fund a cause. You know, and to fund something. And that's it. I mean, but I could get off here and in 30 minutes, I'll be listed on an exchange and the coin will be ready to be sold. I can do it like that, or I can coin drop. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. If you think I should do, yeah, let's just do that. I'll let you do a poll. This way everybody's involved. If you think I should do a pre-sale, you know, maybe pre-launch sale, or just go ahead and straight get listed. I mean, because I've got it all set up. It's just a matter of typing a couple things in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to tell you how long it took me to do all this when this all gets started later. You know what I mean? Because it was interesting. But it's just one of those things that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. So I decided to just do it. And that's the other thing, guys. You can do anything you want to do. Just do it. You know what I mean? It's like Nike said, just do
Right.
it. But you're gonna sit back and watch everybody else and all these big companies do everything and tell you it's difficult and that you need all these resources and all these attorneys and all this and all this and all this. You don't need jack shit. The only thing between wanting to do something and doing it
is doing it.
Determination. You know what I mean? Do it.
Is doing
to follow it. Just do it. Hey, how do you
the
do that?
hardest thing to doing
people ask
something
me,
is
how'd you get
taking
that
the
done?
first step. I just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Right
Taking
now,
the
I can
first
start a
step.
company teaching people how to open ice. But you know what I mean? I was like, huh? Maybe I should.
Taking the first step.
But I love you guys.
That's what it's all about. We love you. We thank you
Remember,
guys for coming.
it's the token to clean the oceans. Token for the oceans. Okay?
Ocean tokens. Ocean tokens.
Ocean force.
Ocean tokens.
There we go.
Ocean tokens.
Yeah, see?
Love you guys.
Yep.
We'll see you guys soon.
Love you.
Everybody
Love
have
you
a
guys.
great day.
Bye.